Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Diana. I wanted to do a story time and a get ready with me because I don't want to just talk, you guys. I want to like be doing something as I talk, so it's not just me talking. I have my products here. I'm just gonna leave everything in the description. If you guys are wondering what I'm using, it'll be in my description just because I don't want to interrupt myself as I go, because then I lose my train of thought, you guys, and it's not good. Let's get started. This took place when I was in middle school. So I was in 8th grade, so I was about 13 or 14. I think I was already like 14 years old because my birthday's in November, so it's like towards the end of the year, but I'm sure I was already 14. If you guys remember your like teenage years, this is around the time where you're like meeting new friends, you know, trying to find your group of people, and at the same time like under a lot of peer pressure for various reasons. This was that time in my life where I was just hanging out with different people. Like I had no like specific friend group. I was just kind of like, you know, being that girl that, you know, had no specific friend group but was just trying to figure out. Of course I had my group of friends who were like who I was like most close to, but nothing like I was exclusive to a friend group. I hung out with whoever. If they were nice to me, I was their friend. That's just how I was at that time. Things are different now, but that's just how I was back then. This took place, you guys, at a Kmart. If you guys are not aware what a Kmart is, it's just like a Walmart. It's just like a smaller version of that, but it's very similar. The concept is very similar. It was more affordable. Like I said, you guys, this took place back when I was in 8th grade, so I was really little. I was pretty young, dumb, naive, you know, all of those things, and so were my friends, like no exception. My friends and I were planning throughout the day that after school we were gonna go to Kmart and we're gonna go steal a few things, right? So we thought to ourselves, oh, like, you know, the Kmart is only like 2 minutes away, and it's honestly not that far. 2 minutes because of the shopping center it's in, but it's literally like down the street, or was down the street at that time. Like I remember all of us, we were like, oh, no one's gonna see us, because mind you guys, like the main reason why we had all this time was because all of us like in our friend group stayed after school and after school programs, and those programs, like, yeah, they're helpful for parents who, like, you know, work a lot and stuff like that, because I was like my mom's case and stuff. Honestly, they're not really watching you. Like they could care less. Like they're, now that I look at it, they're probably like in their mid-20s, like the people taking care of us, you know. If you didn't show up to the after school program, they weren't gonna like call your parents. They were just like, oh, they probably went home, you know. So there wasn't any structure there. So my friends and I, like, we had that liberty of just being out, because again, who was gonna check us? Nobody. Throughout the day, my friends and I were like, oh, let's go to Kmart. It was something premeditated. Like we had thought this out. We're like, we can do it. Like we can do it. It was like 6 of us. So 6 of us girls, all of us were like, let's go to Kmart after school. But me, I've always been very scared. So I remember being like, yeah, like I'm down, but like I don't want to steal anything. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm down to go with them. I have $5 in my pocket. Like if something happens, I'm gonna say I'm shopping. Like something so stupid, right? We were all like, yeah, like let's go to Kmart, we'll split up. So it was like gonna be 3 and 3, so 3 girls and 3 girls. And then so I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with one of my closest friends. Like she was one of my good friends for years. Let me go with her because like she's hella down. Like I know, like if something goes down, like we're making it out, right? We're literally planning and plotting the entire day, right? So time comes around, it's the end of the day. We were being slick, right? So it wasn't right after school. Like we did wander around for a little bit and then we entered the store, because again, right after school means everybody was gonna be there, right? So we had to give it a little bit of time. Around 4, we're like, we're ready, let's head to Kmart, let's go do what we have to do. So we all, I remember we're all like laughing, like just having a grand old time. We walk into Kmart, and my 3 friends and I, we went one way and then the other 3 went another way. I remember this clear as day, you guys. Clear as day. Prior to this, my friends and I, we had discussed that we're gonna put it into my friend's backpack. She had one of those backpacks that you pull like this like little thing, you pull it and it opens the backpack. It had no zippers. It was just more like of a pull and then, you know, you open. That kind of backpack, right? So she had those and it was like gonna be the easiest thing, right? And the dumbest thing is what we steal. So we head straight to the candy section as if we cannot afford just like a little candy, you know. So I remember, you guys, I was so scared because I have never like really done that. I'm not like, I don't really like steal like that, you know. I was more of like the lookout, right? Because my friend, she was like, oh, like what do you want? Like, do you want something? Like she was like, oh, get something. And I'm like, I'm definitely gonna get something. Just give me like M&Ms. And so I got like a little bag of M&Ms, right? And mind you guys, I was terrified. And so like I said, I was the one keeping lookout. So I would be like at the end of the aisles, like walking back and forth, hella suspicious. If I saw like a customer coming, I'd be like, oh, someone's coming. Or if I saw like the employees, because they have like a very specific uniform, if I saw them, I'd be like, oh, they're coming, like put it away. The worst part about it is that I purposely did not like offer my backpack, you guys, because I'm like, if something goes down, like they're not gonna find anything in my backpack. Like no. So we finished like stealing, right? And I think total we had like chips, candy, just dumb things, like very dumb things, right? All three of us were done. We're like, okay, we're ready, let's go. So we head around the store and we finally find our friends, right? Our friends had also stolen, but our friends were smarter because they had hid the candies, and I think they got like chips within their pants, like their sweats. They're wearing sweats. They were really smart about it. We were the dumb obvious ones that just slipped everything into our backpacks. We're like, oh, where's your stuff? And they're like, oh, it's in our pants. And so we're like, okay, like that was smart. We were all together, so all 6 of us were now together. We were just like walking around the store before kind of exiting the store. So we were just kind of trying to be like not as obvious as possible, trying to make our way throughout the store, like kind of making it seem like, oh, we're just browsing, like we're just looking, you know, nothing crazy. By this point, obviously we were not being slick, we were looking hella suspicious, but at this point we don't know what we're doing. We're just being naive and very foolish, right? So then fast forward, we're like, okay, we're done, like we don't need anything from here, we're all good. Like, yes, you're done, right? So do you need anything? No. Do you need anything? Okay, so all 6 of us, we don't need anything. So we're walking out. We're making our way out of Kmart, and the way Kmart was set up was that everything, like, so for example, the chips and the snacks was not too far from the exit, like it wasn't far, but we had made our way around the store. We were further out and kind of like by the area where they have like toys, like, you know, like outside gear, like things like that. So that was in the way back, and we kind of make our way throughout the store, just coming through, and then we're passing by the aisle that we stole from. Like, we're just kind of walking by, right? So all is well, we're just walking, we're walking, and then I remember, you guys, I was in the front because I think the one who was like, well, I feel like we were all very scared, but I feel like I definitely was the most terrified because I know I had no business being in that Kmart stealing, doing that bad stuff. And so I remember I was in the front, girl. I was like, I'm ready to go. We were laughing, just cracking it up, you know, like if we did not just steal I want to say like $10 worth of freaking stuff from Kmart. It was the dumbest thing ever. I was like walking, and I remember I looked back and I was like, ha ha ha, like we were talking, you know, and I see this man. He was big and tall, girl. Me and him, we made eye contact. I was like, that can't be. I said, hurry up, because he's looking at us like we're suspicious. Of course we are. We had just stolen, but that look, I was like, girl, that's LP. But in my mind I was like, no, can't be, that's just a normal person, he just got a problem. Towards the end, so when you're getting close, like the doors, the front doors, they have like a bunch of doors. So imagine like Target, you know how Target has your in and your out, but it had like 2 sets of in, 2 sets of out. They were always closed, they only had 1 open, but they were like, there was a bunch of doors. It was like a wide set like of doors, like do, like it was just long. Shortly after, I hear, ladies, come here. I was like, girl, he's not talking to us. He is not talking to us. If y'all don't keep on walking. And at this point, we're about to reach those doors. Exit zone, right? Mind you, like, now that I know, girl, everybody in the store knew we were stealing. Everybody. Like, now as an adult, right, you know, like, how they communicate and how, girl, they was gonna catch us. Like, we was not going out of there. He said that, right? And I was like, fuck. Like, and I remember I was in the front and I was like, girl, either I stay and I wait with them or I fucking leave, right? I wanted to leave so bad, but he said, ladies, you're not gonna leave. I'm gonna keep walking. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of the store. At this point, I didn't even steal anything. That was my mindset, right? I remember looking at the employee who was, because they always had like employees like checking receipts, right? So they always had these employees checking receipt, and I remember the employee was standing right in the middle of the door. And I'm telling you, the doors were small. Like they had like a bunch of doors, but only one door was open, and it was the smallest door. And I remember like being like, fuck, like this cannot be happening. This is not real. Now my friend turned around first and she stops. Well, then I have to stop too, because girl, where's the loyalty? If I don't stop, where's the loyalty, you know? Once we stopped, the tall man that was following us and this other lady, they stopped right in front of us, and they're like, you know, we've been watching you guys. We know you guys have been stealing. We know you guys have stuff in your backpacks. We know. So you guys are gonna have to follow us to the back. The entire time he's like, oh, what were you guys thinking? Like, we were watching you guys from the moment you guys walked in. This is not good. We're gonna call your parents. You guys might even get arrested for stealing. That's how he was talking to us, right? I mean, and rightly so. Like, girl, we just stole. At the young age of 14, girl, you were stealing? Like, of course he was gonna talk to us like that, you know? And so he must have been like, girl, these girls are so down. But he told us that, right? And I remember like I remember all of us, like all 6 of us, just kind of walking behind this man, and the lady was walking behind us, and we walked to like this side room. It was by the clothing section of the store. They had like this door. It said like employees only or something, and we walked in through there, right? And they're all mad. They're like, take a seat. The room that we were in, it was like a super small room. It looked like a little closet, and it had black walls, like black everything. It was dark. I remember there was like a mirror, there was a desk, there was like a few seats, and then everybody else had to stand. I remember I was one of the girls standing. I was the one sitting closer to the edge of the wall, so I remember just kind of standing there with my friend, like looking at each other like, what the fuck, like what is gonna happen, you know? Like, we were just kind of scared. I remember the friend who stacked everything inside her backpack, they looked through her backpack last because they knew. And so everybody else was going first. So one of my friends left, one of my other friends left. I think I was like 3rd or 4th to end up like getting talked to. So basically the girls that were closest to the door were first. They made us write our parents' name and number on this clipboard, and I put my mom's like real name, but I just changed her number. I was like, you guys are not gonna get a hold of her, hell no. And if you guys are gonna start something, I'll be the first one to tell her, right? So I remember like I just changed like the last 2 numbers. Like if the number was 057, I put 076, you know, something like nearby that just like, it was like, oh, I got confused, like, you know. My friends were being talked to. I kind of blurred that out because I'm like, oh hell no, girl. Like, he was like, okay, like let me check your backpack, right? So then I put my backpack on the table, and he was like, okay, so you don't have anything in your backpack, so then why are you with them? I was like, well, I came with them. He was like, okay, so but you're not stealing, so why are you with them? And just trying to make me feel stupid. I was like, well, they're my friends, so I came with them. And then he said, you do know that even if you're just with them, we can still charge you for stealing. You know that, right? I was like, no. And he was like dead ass, just like staring into my soul, like, you know that this was really stupid, right? You know that you shouldn't be doing this. And then he's like, well, I see that you were one of the smart ones that didn't put anything into their backpack, but you do know I can still get you in trouble, right? He told me that. And well, girl, I was 14. I'm like, okay. Like, I just remember being like, okay, like, I don't know really what you want me to tell you, sir. Like, I know that you caught us, but like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. He was like, you need to stop hanging around with these kids that are gonna get you in trouble, because I can tell you're not like that. And then he was like, so I don't want to see you here anymore, so do not come to this Kmart ever again without your parents. And then he said, you can go. I was like, in my head I was like, so is he not gonna call my mom? Like, you know. I said, either way, it doesn't matter because I put a fake number, so good luck getting a hold of her. Okay, I won't. I grabbed my backpack, I zipped it up because they just looked through it and they just like said, here, like, take it. I remember I ended up leaving. by this point, girl, I was like already 5 or something, so I was about to get picked up very soon, right, by my mom. I get back to the campus, you guys, and my friends, remember I said I was like 3rd or 4th to kind of get the interview? My other friends who were first, they were already at the school, and they were freaking eating the snacks that they had stolen, because I don't think they had seen them put the snacks into their clothing. I don't know how exactly that happened, but I remember my friend was like, oh my god, like they literally didn't even check my pants, like I still have the chips on my pants, and they were freaking eating them, you guys. They were eating the stuff. So I remember I was just like, oh my god, you guys are crazy. Like, you guys did not just like, what? You guys did not just do that. Like, you guys are so freaking crazy. And so then they were like, oh, do you want some? Or I was like, yeah, sure, like might as well, shit, you know. But of course, you guys, we were shooken up. We're like, oh my god, like I don't ever want to go there again. We were so scared, but at the same time we're like, well, this is our local Kmart, girl, so we're gonna be here again. I did want to tell you guys about what happened to my friend. So my friend, the one who actually like put all the snacks and all that stuff into her backpack, well, she actually ended up getting into a little bit more of a serious problem. So she ended up having to call her mom to come get her, right? So she had to call her mom to come get her. Once her mom got there, she had to sign a paper saying that she was never gonna step foot into a Kmart, because the moment she did, she could be arrested. Okay, that was my friend's punishment, because she had all the merchandise in her backpack. She told us obviously the next day. She literally said, but I don't care, because I'm gonna go back, because that's my local Kmart, and where else am I supposed to go? She said that, and she was not lying. She went back after that, after we stole. I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in on what happened with my friend. I literally just kind of got like a slap on the wrist, like, you're dumb, and then, you know, go off on your way. And so I remember like feeling like so stupid, you know. So I remember I got home, and I've never really been like the type of person to like hide stuff from my mom. Like, if I get in trouble, like I tell her, I'm like, girl, guess what happened? I got into some serious problems, you know, or this and that happened. Like, I've always been like that with my mom, and I feel like it has allowed me to just be very honest about like who I am too. Like, I don't feel like I have to hide who I am from my mom. I remember I got home and I gathered my family, because I've always lived with like my immediate family and a little bit of extended. And so I remember I was like, you guys, guess what I did today? I was so shooken up because I was so scared, and I told them, I was like, well, I went to Kmart and me and my friends got in trouble for stealing. I said, but nothing happened because they didn't find anything on me. My mom was like, she was speechless, you guys. She could not believe what I had just done. And the funny part is that it's not just like, oh my god, like I can't believe it. It's like, this girl got away with it. I think that's what was like, what the hell? Like, she got away with doing that? Like, no. And so my mom was like, you better not steal again. Like, she was obviously clearly rightfully upset at me. She was like, you better not steal again. I better not see you ever like stealing again. She was very like upset. And I remember like just kind of being like, yeah, mom, like I'm sorry, I won't do it again, like I promise, you know. And I honestly kept my promise. Like, I haven't done it again, and I don't plan on stealing, especially now, girl, at my grown age. And I remember my uncle at that time had recently quit working at Kmart, and I remember him telling me, oh, was it this big and tall man that was following you? And I was like, yeah, it was. Yeah, they're LP, they're undercover, they're always like making their rounds around the store and catching people who are stealing. I said, no way. And I remember my uncle told me his name. He was like, oh yeah, his name is so and so, because he worked with him when my uncle was working at Kmart during that, like, I think it was like a few months. I was like, no way. Like, yeah, it was him. He made me feel so stupid and da, da, da. And I remember they were like, well, good thing he made you feel stupid, because it was really dumb. It was a really dumb thing to do. And I remember just kind of being so embarrassed, you guys, so freaking embarrassed, because I could not believe, not that we had stolen, but we had gotten caught, which was the worst part. And that's like the mentality that I had when I was like 13, 14, however old I was. That's just like kind of how my mind worked. I didn't really care to get in trouble during that age. I just was like, oh, like, who cares, you know? But then when I got in trouble, I was like shitting bricks. So at the same time, girl, I didn't even know what I wanted at that time. After that incident, you guys, I was honestly very scared to get back into Kmart without my parent or whatever, because I was like, I do not want to get into trouble again for just being in the store. My mom was very upset, you guys, with me. I remember she was like, Dan, like, she even told me like she didn't want me hanging out with these friends anymore. But of course I didn't listen. I still hung out with those friends, and I had really good times with those friends at the end. We all grew to like different things. We all grew up to be different people than the ones that we knew when we were children, you know. So I don't really keep in contact with any of those friends anymore. They were such a big part of my teenage years that I honestly had so much fun with them. I wouldn't trade any experiences that I had with them for the world, because I learned a lot. And I also, in that, like, I figured out like who I am and who I was, and like, you know, things that just weren't for me. Like, I really didn't like the stealing anymore. Obviously after that, I was like, oh yeah, this is not for me, girl. My anxiety cannot handle this. Like, I cannot handle all this like running away, and like, you know, I can't handle that. This was so long ago, like to the point where Kmart's don't even exist, y'all. Like, they don't even exist here. I also think that with certain ages you could get away with certain things. Obviously now, like, if we go around stealing, we're not gonna get away with it because we're full-on adults, you know. And that's what, like, I feel like my mom was trying to get me to realize. Like, of course right now you're a child, you know, but when you're not a child anymore, like, these things don't fly. They do not fly, and you will get into some serious ass problems. I can definitely say, you guys, that I learned my lesson. I feel like after that happened, I never wanted to steal again. I was like, no ma'am, like, I do not want to do that. Also because it is disappointing, even though I told my family like right after it happened, and I didn't have to, you know. Honestly, I didn't have to say anything to them, and they would have never known. But at the same time, like, it was just very disappointing. And I think at the end of the day, like, I did disappoint myself. I'm like, oh, Diana, like, what are you doing, girl? Like, what are you doing? And I remember, like, of course, like, to an extent, like, you do disappoint yourself. And I feel like that's where we go wrong, because we don't learn our lessons, and therefore, like, we don't change certain behaviors, you know. We just continue doing them. I feel like as children, some of us were never checked, you know. And that's why, like, certain habits are still done even as adults, you know. And I feel like that's why, like, that time that it happened, like, I wanted to talk to my mom and everybody, because I wanted them to know like what I had done, because it wasn't my proudest moment. It was actually one of the most embarrassing moments, because imagine walking through Kmart having to feel so embarrassed and terrified at the same time, because they know you were stealing, girl. They know. I had so much fun sharing this story with you guys. That was a time that I got caught stealing. Definitely not one of my proudest moments, but I can now look back and be like, oh my god, that was so funny. Like, why did I even think that was okay to do? If you guys have ever stolen anything, let me know in the comments. What did you guys steal? I feel like everybody steals at some point in their life. Typically it happens, you know, during like teenage years, and then you kind of like grow out of that and you don't ever do that again. I did want to share that story time with you guys. I just thought it was such a funny thing and such a good way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. If you guys enjoyed this story time and get ready with me, please like my video, subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching and sitting through this story time. As always, take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.